Welcome to my channel. This is the Diamond Chrysalis, aka Divested Diamonds. This is divestment with purpose, and you have arrived. Greetings and salutations, ladies. Thank you so much for joining me. Thanks for being here today. Please do me a favor and click the like button as you watch this video. Thank you kindly. In today's premiere, we're going to be discussing a few topics. So please, kick back, relax, and let's get into this. But first, we need to address some angry comments from the Black Wife Effect video. You know, I will never understand for the life of me why the majority of Black men and some Black women can't seem to understand that Black women in general have the right to go wherever they want in terms of dating and marriage and do not owe anyone, but especially the so-called community, any explanation for it. The fact that these people are irritated at the thought of seeing a Black woman or Black women with men of other races looking happy and relaxed while minding their own business is mind-boggling to me. So I've seen quite a few negative comments on that particular video, the Black Wife Effect video, from certain people spewing negativity towards interracial couples as if somehow that's going to stop Black women from dating out. The delusion, ladies and gentlemen, is very real. No one in 2024 is going to shame Black women into staying with a group of men who've proudly told the world that Black women are unworthy of love and protection. If any Black woman continues to cultivate these fruitless relationships, that's her business. If sadomasochism of the dusty kind is what you're into, do you, sis? If you get excited by the thought of excuses and struggle love, good luck to you, girl, because that lifestyle isn't for everyone. So let's get into these comments, shall we? The first one here says, truly so-called Black people are a effing joke worldwide. Everyone stays with their own but you. When it's your turn, take your pick. Sounds stupid, in all caps. This comment obviously didn't make it to the main comment section because it was flagged for potentially inappropriate language. The term stupid is not a word that I would normally use nonchalantly unless I was being insulting towards someone. And I have a feeling that this individual was doing just that. Anyway, this comment was posted by someone calling themselves Maria Hill. And here's the thing. As far as I can tell, this individual appears to be a Black woman. And I'll tell you why I have an issue with women like her. Her type thinks that Black women should stay with Black men under any circumstance. She's the type of woman who thinks it's a Black woman's community and racial duty to endure pain, suffering, and sacrifice for the quote-unquote greater good of the so-called community. She's upset because Black women are using their right to pursue romantic relationships with men of other races. If you want to be pro-Black, ma'am, that's your choice and your business. The rest of us don't have to participate in it. The rate at which Black women are being deleted by Black males is alarming. But yet, here you are, shaming Black women for choosing to date out. Do you know who's more dangerous than Glocktavius, Tyrone, Pookie, and Ray Ray? Boomquisha, the mammy. Bonneta, the mammy. These women want you to stay in the so-called community to partake in struggle of and continue to keep some of the secrets of these deplorable black males. This woman is looking for sisterhood by way of trauma that is usually caused by the same males that she wants you to stay with. She wants other black women to endure the struggle of dealing with mostly infantile males, paying all the bills, feeding them, draining their balls, and propping them up as kings, while your edges fall out as they continue to live a soft life at your expense. By the way she writes, I can tell that she's not all the way educated. And with that in mind, the mammyism is usually very strong in people like her. And I'll tell you why. They've been slow cooked into the very fibers that make the so-called community the cesspool that it is. I don't understand why women like her worry about the small percentage of black women who date out, who we date, marry, and even sleep with. Doesn't make you pregnant. So why are you concerned? You can't police anything as far as black women are concerned, because we're not here to conform to your standards or to please the so-called community. Question: do you have the same energy when black males date out? And they do it at higher rates compared to black women. And just for the record, I personally don't care who black males date or marry. I'm not the type who gets triggered just by seeing a black male with a woman of a different race. It doesn't bother me. You couldn't pay me to care about that. What bothers me is when black males and some of these black women feel that they can police other black women's dating and marriage choices. Cut it out. According to PewResearch.org, black men are twice as likely as black women to intermarry. So while quote-unquote togetherness is something that this woman wants, she can't police who any of us choose to be with. We call them personal choices for a reason. And here's the fact. Black women also date out the least because of how most are raised. We're expected to be loyal to a group of men who are conquered and in most cases offer nothing in the way of protection and a comfortable, stress-free lifestyle. They demand more from black women than they give in return. Let's also talk about the STD rates. Black women who mostly engage with majority black males have the highest STD rates. And this is not to say that you can get STDs from men of other races. Of course you can, but they're especially high in the so-called community, at least on record. And where do you think these STDs come from? When you see a community that has more children born out of wedlock than those born within a marriage, what does that tell you about the sexual behavior and habits of a lot of the men and women of that community? And don't let the numbers fool you. This does not necessarily mean that black women sleep around more than black men do. Men and women are different from each other, and that includes our sexual appetites. Now, I do understand that there are nuances, right? There are exceptions to the rule, but the exception isn't the rule. So let's bring logic into this conversation right here. The promiscuity of black men is celebrated within the so-called community, and it's done so overtly in comparison to other communities, the community in general. And some of these male-identified women will always ignore and tolerate bad behavior from males because boys will be boys and men will be men, right? This type of behavior is labeled as normal, and some of these women will still go ahead and engage in risky sexual activities or behavior with these same males. When men refuse to control their sexual urges, they sleep with multiple women recklessly as a symbol of quote-unquote manhood. That mindset gives them a false sense of power in conquering as many women as they possibly can between the sheets. Who do you think they're trying to impress when they do this? Other men. They keep saying how men are not meant to be monogamous and how, quote unquote, God put them on this earth to procreate. Therefore, women should just get over it. Okay, let's entertain that ridiculousness for a moment in determining who's putting the other at extreme risk when it comes to the conversation of STDs. As far as ratio goes, nationally, the Census Bureau counts 88 Black male adults for every 100 Black women. So there are fewer Black males than there are Black women. And that's for various reasons, right? If the STD rates are higher with Black women, whom by nature and community programming are only interested in dating mostly Black men, which sex do you think is responsible for spreading most of these diseases? I'll wait. And please bear in mind that most women, not all, tend to be loyal in relationships in comparison to men. Consider that as you calculate. Now, if you're done calculating, you will realize that when men are sleeping around in high volumes with no protection due to the endless sea of women available to them, their STD rates will still be lower than women's because all they're doing is hopping around from one woman to the next, spreading disease. A lot of these women will be sharing partners, and that's how the diseases are mostly spread among women. The other proof can be found in the many abandoned children born out of wedlock, fathered by only a few men with multiple women. Here's another issue that women need to be aware of. A lot of these males are having sex with both men and women simultaneously. It's not a secret that the so-called community is full of down-low men who pretend to be heterosexual but aren't. The gay community is known for its promiscuity and having higher rates of STDs. According to the National Library of Medicine, overall, homosexual men were significantly more likely than heterosexual men to have gonorrhea, early syphilis, anal warts, the herp, crabs, scabies, etc. These alleged heterosexual males that most Black women are having sex and children with keep going back and forth between the front and the back, from male to female and vice versa. As women, we all know the rules when it comes to cleaning our nether regions. It's front to back and not the opposite direction. There's a reason for that. A lot of these males are literally taking their penises from the anus into the vagina and transferring fecal matter and other debris into the vagina, thus upsetting the pH balance. This is causing a lot of issues for women, younger women especially. I found this Guardian article. Now, The Guardian is a UK publication, and the title states, "Rise in popularity of anal sex has led to health problems with women." It's a very interesting read and truly eye-opening considering what's going on in the current sexual climate these days. I'll leave the link to the article in the description bar below if you're interested in reading it. So let's move on. Another thing that women need to be aware of is because we have a larger mucosal area, microlesions caused during sex, particularly forced sex, and the presence of more HIV semen than in vaginal secretions, all contribute to women's greater vulnerability to STDs and the HIV. Cultural and societal acceptance of men having multiple sex partners, whether through the hiring of sex workers, short or long-term infidelity, participation in sex cults, alternative lifestyles, and polygamy practices, have all contributed to the risks of women being infected. Women cannot afford to be reckless with their sexual health because a woman's vaginal lining is thinner and more delicate, making it easier for bacteria and viruses to penetrate. And this is why we need to be careful of whom we allow inside our bodies. Joint STD testing is a must. So, Maria, if you think Black women look stupid for wanting something different or better than the limited options that have always been presented to them, then so be it. You can't stop what's already happening. You don't have the ability to do that. Now, let's move on to the next troll. So, this king stopped by, not once, not twice, but several times to let me know exactly how he felt about Black women seemingly living quite happily with their chosen partners or other race husbands. He was so bothered, it was actually hilarious. The first comment says, "We will make other women queen over you." This is from a guy named Moses Daxon, 9162. So I responded to him, and this is what I had to say. "We love that for you. We've been hoping you would. Please get your passports and make queens out of women who truly want to be with you. Divested women don't care. LOL. But we wish you well." Listen, Moses, you need to understand that threatening me or other Black women about making queens out of other women is irrelevant to me. 1, I don't care. And 2, where's your kingdom? Wakanda? Oh, you do realize that's a fictional place, right? The problem with a lot of you Black males is you think you're more than you really are. A king, a real king, would normally have his own kingdom. He wouldn't be sitting online yapping in the comment section of a platform created by another group of men. Please humor me by answering this question. What have you built? You can't even run a community without deleting each other. Do you really think you have what it takes to be a king? Oh, but sure. I mean, go ahead. It's all beautiful in the land of dreams and delusion, right? Next comment says, "You old dusty mamas is the one who's mad, not us." He then goes on to say, "The so-called Black man is the salt of the earth." Matthew 5, verse 13. And finally, he says, "And you think we give a damn what you all think about us? Girl, please. LOL. Well, sir, clearly you do. You were so bothered you came back, several times. And you see, ladies, this is part of the reason that they keep telling you how, quote unquote, irrelevant your degrees are. I mean, just look at this shit. This guy cannot spell. Is that how you spell damn? Better yet, and? You mean and? A-N-D? Wow. And these are the high-value men that Old Man Samuels used to talk about? Really? Wow. It's never ending with these dudes. Listen, you're not ready to date or even marry anyone. First of all, you can't construct a proper sentence to save your life. Secondly, you seem ignorant, uneducated, and uninformed. Thirdly, kingdoms, queens, women, and relationships should be the last thing on your mind. You're not ready for this. Let me give you a recommendation. School. You need to go back to school because that's really where you need to be. Go back, brush up on your grammar, and don't put your hopes in any Black woman taking care of you or filling out job applications on your behalf. This channel and the women here are beyond your scope of intelligence. The issue with low-grade males such as yourself is that you can't tell where fantasy and delusion begins and where it ends. You've created this fantastical world, and regurgitated certain talking points to yourself and each other. And now you seem to believe all of that nonsense because, of course, you was Kangs, right? You're exhausting. You know that? You guys are exhausting. Some of you, and I really have to say this, some of you are so lucky that mammies even give you the time of day. Because a lot of you should just be virgins your entire lives. Anyway, let's move on. So, just when these wonderful people are celebrating their lives and having fun with this trend, here comes a funny, not so funny woman who had something to say. Now, she claimed it was a joke, but here's how it went. Let's take a listen.
This is my husband before the black wife effect. So if I could get a black wife to help me out, please.
Let me explain something to you. The black wife effect is not a service. We are not for hire. We did that when Massa dragged us into the big house against our will. We're not doing it no more. And let me be clear, if I upgrade your man, that's my man now. You sure you want me to upgrade him?
So I want to talk about the black wife effect because it's been on my timeline. I know it's been on others, and I feel like there's so much to break down about it. So for me, as I'm watching the black wife effect, what I'm thinking is that everything black women touch, they elevate. And that's not just on a partner scale, that's on a societal scale. When you look at the foundation of any social justice movement, you will find a black woman there, and that is not a coincidence. When you look at any industry, at the top of it, there will always be a black woman there, and that is not any coincidence. And every time I say this, people get mad. Click the link tree in my bio. I already have the notes. But anyways, I thought the fascinating thing about the black wife effect is not even that they look better, their style's better, but it's also like you can visibly see their confidence get better. And that's something that isn't like a physical change. That's something of like being properly cared for. I feel like black women have been socialized to be deep carers. And a lot of time people put us on this pedestal of like, they're goddesses, they're otherworldly, but it is a little bit exhausting. I mean, people hold us to this standard where we have to go above and beyond. Like to be pretty as a black girl, you have to be above and beyond. To be smart as a black girl, you have to be above and beyond. To be kind as a black girl, you have to go above and beyond. You know what I mean? That's why when they exceed in these industries, when they exceed in these fields, when they exceed in these foundations, they do that because the standards is exceed or not exist. And so if this trend should show you anything, it shouldn't just be like, oh my gosh, let's see how we can exploit and use black women and how can we get a mammy to elevate us. It should be, let me try and take notes so I can be on the same level, or let me see what they do that really does it. You know what I mean? Like a lot of times people can appreciate what black women do, but they don't know how to properly support us to keep doing it. I think that's all I need to say for now.
And look, she wasn't the only one who had secret issues with this trend. Other people, black men and black women, had issues too. Let's take a listen.
To me, the black wife effect represents the mummification of black women yet again. Notice that in many of these black wife effect compilations, they aren't talking about, what they truly love about the black wife's character, but basically implying that, their black wife was amazing because they got them when they weren't, looking their best or feeling their best, and basically boosted their self-esteem, boosted their style, boosted, basically their self-worth so that they can become like, the self-actualized person that they are today. And I don't really see how that's different to the mommy stereotype that basically values black women for basically their service, their acts of service, and their domestic labor to white people, or I guess in the case of the black wife effect, non-black people as well. You could say that maybe I'm over-exaggerating, but that's really what I see it as.
The moment this quote-unquote trend started, I already knew that some people would go down this route. Is it shocking? No. Women like her would rather mammy for Tyrone, who, for the most part, does nothing of value for the so-called community, but creates single-parent households with his poverty peen. These women would rather keep other Black women on that struggle of relationship plantation as long as they are muling for Black males. What they failed to realize is that some Black women just prefer something different when it comes to dating and marriage. No one's marriage preference should be predicated upon being with someone of the same group simply because they share a race. And of course, there were people in the comment section who agreed with her and said she was on point. My thing is this: the so-called community don't have an issue using and abusing Black women because they think a Black woman's physical and emotional labor belongs to them. When she chooses to seek love elsewhere, they feel that those things are being wasted on other groups of people because the quote-unquote community feels entitled to the Black woman's unpaid labor. These women, in my opinion, seem happy, well-rested, and taken care of. They are being celebrated by the groups of men who chose to be with them. That, unfortunately, angers a lot of people in the Blackistani community and beyond. And of course, what do you think was the rebuttal to the Black wife effect? You guessed it, the Black husband effect. And since people want to compare the two, let me show you what this trend looks like. think the first video was self-explanatory. Not much going on there. This last video, however, was very interesting because as I was watching, I looked over at the comments section and well, would you look at this? Someone asked her how long she'd been married, and this is what she had to say. We married in 96 when I was 22, divorced in 2001, and then married again last year. And underneath that response, someone says, what? Time for a story time. Look, people need to understand that this quote-unquote trend was meant to be fun, a celebration of these couples' relationships, appreciation from the men to the women they married. Now, you can see this as cringe or mammying towards men of other races, but here's the thing. As far as I know, it was the men's idea to do this. Furthermore, this is the black wife effect trend. Now, I do understand that some girlfriends and boyfriends decided to participate. However, the trend itself is called the black wife effect for a reason. It's not the baby mama effect, the daddy went to the store to buy some milk and never came back effect. It's not the struggle love and situationship effect. It's the black wife effect trend. These men are showing the effect, the impact that their black wives have had on them, which they are proudly displaying. A lot of women, in Blackistan especially, do this for years, for free, and still don't get a ring. You have black women living in hope, entertaining Dusties for the possibility of marriage, doing wifely duties for the possibility of marriage. Most of these males would never celebrate these women in any way at all because there's always some kind of creepy shit going on. They are either too scared of the side chick or the baby mama finding out that they are indeed married. There's always some kind of drama. Again, this is not an advertisement for interracial dating or marriage. I'll tell you what this is. I'm always in support of good, healthy, abuse-free relationships as long as women are good and happy. As long as women are good, I'm happy. And while we're only getting a small glimpse into these people's lives without full context of their relationships ins and outs, we have to remind ourselves that what goes on in the private setting of their relationships, it's none of our business, and it's not what the trend was all about. Stay focused and don't get triggered by your own insecurities. Let's take a listen to the following.
The black wife effect is real. Okay, this is something that needs to be studied in universities. I don't believe in much, but I believe in the black wife effect, and soon you will too. This is me before I met my wife. I look like if Machine Gun Kelly was anemic. I look like Water Gun Kelly. Who parted my hair? Moses? And how do I look like a little boy and an old woman at the same time? Like, this should be an illegal build. Enter the black wife, which I do every chance I get. You can't tell me that's not a miracle. You can't tell me that's not an improvement. What? Do you see this? Call me a leaky ceiling, because I got the drip. This one's just a thirst trap. I'll give you a sec. Dude, night and day. And I'm not just talking about our skin colors. The black wife effect? Give it the Pulitzer. Give it the Nobel Prize. Give it an Oscar. Give it a Tony. Make it an EGOT. Fucking black wife effect, man. You hussies are gonna regret every thought you've ever had with race mixing. It's in direct conflict with God. Honestly, I couldn't agree more. My addiction to this woman is overwhelming. My heartbeat is every step we've taken together. When I breathe, my soul is searching for her exhale. I have not known peace since the day we met, and I hope to never know peace again.
Hey, I wanted to do a quick follow-up to this trend, the black wife effect. I'm loving these videos, love all the love that we're getting on our video, but wanted to just share that the real good stuff of the black wife effect isn't a glow up. It's not about style or haircuts or how we look or reversing the aging process, but being with my wife for 26 years, married for 24 of them, the impact on my life is just undeniable and unimaginable. I never could have imagined the amazing impacts that this relationship, our marriage, would have in my life. And some of that is directly related to race. It's the ways that she's enlightened me in the spaces I've grown when it comes to my understanding of racial injustice and white privilege, and the way that my heart has changed, hopefully the way my actions have changed. And some of the ways have nothing to do with the color of our skin. The way she's loved me through the loss of my brothers and my parents, the way she's encouraged every dream I've ever had. But I was just thinking, maybe be cool to share some of the stories of the different ways that the black wife effect takes shape. And so if you want to hear some of those stories, maybe I'll share a few more, but I just wanted to say the glow up, that's not even what it's about. There's so much more to the black wife effect than that.
So there you have it, straight from the horse's mouth, as it were. Listen, don't hate, congratulate. Black women, just like all other women who are treated well, tend to thrive in positive environments. They deserve to be happy. They thrive when the men they're with aren't putting them in high-stress environments, taking on masculine roles and being bashed for it. I know it's hard to believe for some of you, but we're women too. We want to be spoiled. We want to be treated with a little more respect, a little more love, softness, kindness, dignity, etc. Men and women are different. We all contribute different things to society, and that must be respected from both sides. The following videos are dedicated to all the black males who are so concerned about black women's hair, black women's accessories, and black women's beauty standards. This is for those of you who love to complain about weave, wigs, lashes, and other beauty accessories. Let's take a look.
Okay, say something so I can test your mic.
Say something?
Yeah.
Shayla Ray is sexy. She has the tightest little biceps.
Yeah. Thank you for that. So I posted a video of us. It was called a black wife effect.
Yeah,
So you show pictures before you married a black woman
yeah.
and then after.
Oh, that's cute.
So I posted it.
Yeah.
And you're kind of like famous now. You got 8.2 million views.
Oh, you gotta be shitting me.
Yeah.
Just on ours?
Just on ours. Okay, look at the video. Isn't that cute?
How do you get 8.2 million views?
One of the girls is like, he is fine.
How do you get 8.2
Where do you
million?
meet him? Do he have a brother? Do he have a son? Some casting directors reached out to us to do a TV show.
No, thanks.
No thanks. And voiceovers for me. They like my voice.
That's cute.
Ain't that cute?
Yeah.
The ladies is after you.
Nah, it's too late.
Too late. Too late, ladies.
Too late.
Her man bought her that. Her man did that for her. She only has that because her man got it for her. Her man paid for that. Her man took her there immediately, yes. He did it. My man, my man, my man. And do you want to know what? He's going to do it again. He's going to keep doing it because he fucking loves me.
On that note, what are your thoughts on what's been discussed here today? Please leave your thoughts and comments down below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And remember, ladies, forget the naysayers. Live your life according to you and not the expectations of others. You don't need permission to find love with those who don't look like you. Thank you so much for watching. This is the Diamond Chrysalis. You've been watching Divestment with Purpose. Divest like a butterfly, and I'll see you next time. Bye, diamonds.